What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Swagcast. I'm very excited this week. We have an amazing guest, a content master on the road to 500,000 subscribers, a digital artist, a jiu-jitsu blue belt, and a big inspiration to many, MartialMind. What's going on, baby? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me. See, that is the sort of intro you would expect for, like, I don't know, The Rock or something, and you're giving that to me. Kind of, you know.
When Dwayne The Rock Johnson comes on this
Yeah.
podcast, he'll have a crazy intro as well, I promise. But, I treat everybody like they are The Rock.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You deserve an intro like that. You deserve more. Like, you've been the king of the UFC space for a long time, in a lot of people's opinions, and like I said, an inspiration to many. You started your channel in 2012.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, it's been that long.
It's been over 10 years.
Damn. Almost forgot.
It's been a long time. Can you kind of discuss the differences in YouTube between then and now?
Just bigger. A lot bigger. When I actually first started YouTube, I wanted to start it specifically for music, because that was my main interest. People that have been following me for years, they probably remember some of the older songs I wrote. And then I started playing the undisputed video games, and that's when I came across MMA Game. He's actually the one that really got me into gaming on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, at first when I started, the biggest difference I'd say is just the scale of it, the amount of people that are actually paying attention, and also the amount of people that are doing it. At the time, it was MMA Game, it was me, it was this other guy named Verdi, and that was pretty much it. And we were like small, like pretty small. MMA Game was the biggest at the time, and he had like 3,000 subscribers. And we were like looking at him like, holy shit, like, you're fucking huge. You know what I mean? With 3K subs.
Yeah.
The rest of us, we had like 200 subscribers, 300 subscribers, getting like 10 views a video, 9 views. So like the community was just a lot smaller, way smaller, as opposed to now where it's like, it's just big, Like it's still small when you compare it to other communities. But like back then, it was just very, very, very small. I said that's the biggest difference.
So like you said MMA gaming got you into playing UFC games. I remember I first followed you in, I believe, 2015. I was still in high school, and we were trying to learn how to play. I think it was UFC 2, because we were all dog shit, and you were the guy. So we would all watch your videos, just like in learning the way of that. Now, what was your first UFC game that you officially played?
It was UFC Undisputed 2010. That was the very first one that I played.
That was the second one, right? With Brock Lesnar on the cover.
Yep. First one was the 2009 version. I didn't get to play that one. I wasn't in that was literally the year I came to the US, so I didn't get to play that one. And then a friend of mine got me 2010, and I played it. I really, really enjoyed it, got really, really hooked on it. And it wasn't until Undisputed 3 that I actually got into making content. And like I said, the inspiration was MMA Game. I mean, he's the OG. He was the inspiration 100%. Saw what he was doing, absolutely loved his videos. Like right now, there are a few content creators that when they upload a video, I actually get like excited. Like when I get that notification, I'm like, holy shit, this person uploaded, I gotta watch it. In the community right now, it's Nabality. It's someone like when Romero uploads like a secret, like a secret thing he found, and he shares it with like his followers, I definitely tune in. And then like but back then it was MMA Game. Like he would upload and I would stop whatever the hell I was doing and go watch his videos, because he was I'd say he was really charismatic, and he was also the guy that started the series ideas with the community. You know how like right now I do a lot of series, like I do the Road to #1 rank series, the Random Fighter Select series. Back then it was like Get Sapped by MMA Game, where he would literally pick Bob Sapp, who was absolutely terrible at the time, and he would pick Bob Sapp and absolutely maul people and just destroy everybody. And I found that to be just fascinating. I loved everything about the guy. So Um, it kind of just watching him just kind of made me think like I could do what he's doing, but I could put a different twist to it. Because
Hmm.
yeah, because with me, the one thing he wasn't doing was he wasn't relating it back to actual MMA. And my interest, having some martial art background with Muay Thai, I kind of knew that when I started playing, I can bring in some real world experience to what I was doing, and
Hmm.
that's what I did. And that's what separated me from him and started building me an audience. The fact that I was bringing some like real world experience to the game. But besides that, bro, MMA game, I will always give that man his flowers. He's the one. Without him, I literally would not be making content.
He's not around anymore, is he?
I don't know what happened, bro. I think he just lost interest, which is normal. It
Hmm.
happens. Yeah, we used to be pretty tight. A while back, we would like sit on Skype and just talk shit to each other like for hours, play the game together, talk about content, talk about life, whatever. Um, and then I think at one point he started traveling the US. Like he just literally just hopped in a car with a friend or something and just started traveling the country.
Hmm.
And he just lost interest in the game, which makes sense. You know, if the game is not innovating to the extent that you kind of want it to, a lot of people lose interest and just bow out. So I think that's what happened with him. But miss him, really do, because his content, even to this day, when he actually decides to make content, it's pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
I'm not very familiar with him, so I'm gonna have to go back and definitely check him out.
Oh,
So
bro, you have to. You have to.
I
You gotta
definitely
check.
will. That Bob
Yes.
Sapp stuff seems crazy.
Yes.
So you said a couple minutes back that you moved to the U.S. in 2009. Where are you originally from?
Nigeria, born and raised.
Oh, okay. And then you came over to the U.S. in 2009. How old were you?
2000. I was 15, 15, 16.
Okay. Did you already know English and stuff like that? Like, how did you adjust to American living?
Oh, English is the official language in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'm a burnout, so excuse me. You know,
No,
I
no, no, it's fine. I've been asked way worse. Like I've been asked all kinds of questions like, do you have cars? Did you sleep in trees? All kinds of dumb shit. But like it's all kinds of dumb shit. So it's fine. But yes, yes. English is the official language in Nigeria. It's actually the first language I learned
mm.
before learning the native Igbo that we speak from my tribe.
Oh,
So
okay.
adjusting to life in the U.S. really wasn't difficult at all.
Mm.
There's a bit of a culture shock with a few things, um, especially because like Nigeria is a conservative country, and then you
Yeah.
move to the U.S. and like everything is like, I mean, there's some factions that are like conservative, but like everything is like super liberal. So that was like a
Hmm.
huge culture shock moving here. But again, adjusting was fairly easy because I already spoke English pretty well. I understood the language very well. Um, a lot of the people I went to school with back home in the military school that I was in were from Britain. Um, so I kind of understood the culture a little bit even before moving. So it wasn't
Mm.
hard. It wasn't hard at all.
Okay, I actually had no idea that you weren't originally from the U.S. I grew up with I played a lot of football with a man from Nigeria, and
Now,
that
no, 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 no. When you say football, are you talking about American football or are
oh
you talking about
American
soccer?
American football.
Okay, okay, okay.
You know, helmets, pads, rocking
Okay,
people. And he
okay.
was a dog, and that's why I was confused about the language because he always spoke the native language
Mm.
when he was around his family members and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
When I'm with family, we still speak our native
hmm.
language. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So back to YouTube because I was just curious about that. You've been around for 10 plus years. How do you continue to gather ideas and continue to grow and your videos continue to get more creative in my opinion as you go. You're starting to branch out and do more IRL things like the boxing video, which I very much enjoyed, or Wonder Boy Thompson. That was crazy too. How do you
Yeah.
continue to get these opportunities and continue to grow your creative growth?
Yeah. I think I'm just naturally a very creative person, and it really comes from my art background. Like I'm an artist through and through. My first passion, my first love. And so with that, it's just naturally easy for me to come up with ideas. I also brainstorm a lot. Like ideas is one of those things that can either come to you as an inspiration. It can come to you from seeing what someone else did, and then you put your own twist to it. Or you can just straight up sit there and brainstorm. Like you look around you, what has been done, what hasn't been done, what do you think people might want to see? And then you just come up with multiple ideas and you just run with them. The IRL stuff, man, it's happening a lot sooner than I actually wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The initial plan was to do it when I had way more clout. And the reason, like, by clout, I mean like 1 million subscribers, maybe 2 million subscribers. And the reason for that is, man, if you're gonna get attention of MMA fighters, if you're gonna like get them to take time out of their already busy day
Mm-hmm.
to shoot content with you got to be able to benefit them in a way, right? They got to be able to look at you and go, okay, if I give you an hour of my time, I'll get something out of it. Either you're gonna pay me some fucking good money, or the attention I'm gonna get from it is gonna make it worth my while. And so my thought initially was get to 1 million subscribers so that when I reach out to a fighter and I'm like, hey, can we do a collab? I'm like, I have 1 million followers. That, when you tell somebody you got 1 million followers, it means something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then UFC 5 went the way UFC 5 went. I don't think I need to. Everyone knows the way UFC 5 went. Everything went to shit. Just dumpster fire all over the place. And so, and then not only that, when I look at the community, there are now people in the community doing what I do better. Someone like Nabality. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to be honest with yourself, especially in a creative field, and know when to pivot and start doing something at a level that you don't think anybody else can do it. So right now, when you look at the community and you look at the UFC content being made, there's really nobody doing it on the level that Nabality is doing it. His videos are incredible. They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's like really mastered the level of storytelling, and his editing's like insane, and he's also been making content since he was 8.
Okay, there you go.
Like he was born the year YouTube was made.
There you go.
Like he was put here to make all of us feel old. That's what I tell him all the time.
Yeah. So I'm looking at what he's doing, and I'm like, all right. So it's like the options are either you try to copy him and do a much worse job, which a lot of people are doing right now, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's like a lot of people try to copy the man and just doing a terrible job at it, or you try to do something that hasn't been done before. And the truth of the matter is, when it comes to UFC gaming content, like I've done pretty much everything there is to do in this fucking community. Like I've done everything. There's just nothing left to be done besides the storytelling angle that Nabality is going. And so I'm like, all right, I got to try to switch my content then, which is why the IRL stuff is happening now. It wasn't supposed to happen now. It was supposed to be way later. But I'm glad that it's happening now, because although it's much harder to get attention of fighters, like it's really fucking hard. When I do get like when I like the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson video, I mean, you see the quality of that video. Like I felt like the questions I asked him, the way it was structured, the secrets I got him to spill just from being curious and just asking him genuine questions. I've seen a lot of interviews with Wonderboy, and not a single person has even come close to getting him to explain his system, his fighting system like that. And so that's where I'm moving towards right now. I'm moving towards getting fighters to explain what they do and explain it in a way that it feels like you're listening to a seminar. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but
nah, it kind of opens up a whole can of more questions.
Go ahead.
So like first I want to dive into the Wonder Boy real quick.
Okay.
He off rip, when you did your sidekick, was kind of like astounded how good it already was. How did that feel? Like being told by Wonder Boy, there's like 1 or 2 things I'll fix on this.
So that sidekick that you guys saw was actually the fourth one that I did, the worst one. My cameraman did not capture the first two that I did for whatever reason, so he had
Mm-hmm.
me do it twice again. So before the sidekick, I told him, "Look, I need you to give me 100% honest reaction. Um, don't sugarcoat anything. I want you to be absolutely fucking brutal." He's like, "You got it." And so he was like, "All right, give me two." And I gave him two solid sidekicks. His initial reaction was like, "Holy shit!" Literally, he was like, "Wow." And
Mm-hmm.
so when I heard that, I was like, like it made me feel really good. And then when he told me it was a B plus, I was like, "Bro, like you got to be like shitting me right now. Like you can't be serious." But he was.
Yeah.
Um, and the corrections he gave me made a fuck ton of sense, a lot of sense. You gotta get a bounce to it before you throw the sidekick. Chamber, don't lift up the knee, because like the way I was throwing it was like Taekwondo style. The way someone like Joe Rogan would throw it, where you lift up the knee, you chamber the knee, and
Mm-hmm.
then you throw the sidekick. But Steven was explaining that the problem with that particular style of sidekick is that it can be jammed, right? If you chamber the knee
Mm.
like that, and someone falls right into you, they can jam you and actually off balance you. But if you lead with the heel, the way he does it,
Mm-hmm.
then if they run into you, they actually run into your heel, which I had never heard that before. It was like mind blowing, and it makes
Yeah.
sense. It made sense why there's no one else in the UFC that throws a sidekick like Wonder Boy. He'll like get you going, take a step back as you attempt to crash into him. Boom, sidekick. Next thing you know, you're stumbling, and it's because of that technique. And he also corrected the fact that I was kind of throwing it with my foot this way,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he's like, you got to keep it this way. And the reason for that is because when you bend the foot in this way, you're using more of your glute, and it's more
Mm.
powerful. So, two solid corrections that just made my sidekick just that much more powerful. And I know there's way more knowledge in that man's head. I just wish I had more time to actually dig it out. And so that's the plan, bro. Like, next person I'm trying to get on is Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. And oh my God, what a wealth of knowledge has to be in that man's head. Yes, when I get to talk to DJ, I am going to fucking try to just get as much as possible, because he's one of the smartest, most technical, most tactical, cleanest martial artists of our generation, and it'll be huge if I can talk to him. So,
Mighty Mouse, I've been following Mighty Mouse for the longest time. I feel like he's like the third fighter I like really got into big, because like he can do everything.
yeah,
And like he's really like one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. He's just small. That's his, like, if he was lightweight or featherweight or welterweight, he'd be like the biggest superstar ever. But
yeah,
like flyweights don't get love for some reason.
yeah. It's pretty much because of what you said. It's because he's small. See, the thing that happens in the MMA community, and you'll start to see this more now that you're doing jujitsu. You'll start to
Mm,
see it. The amount of people that believe they can take fighters, the amount of people that actually genuinely believe that they can survive with a fighter is astronomical. It's crazy. And so what happens is, the smaller a fighter is, the more people kind of look at the fighter like, why would I pay too much attention to you? I could probably kick your ass, right?
mm,
If you're looking at Mighty Mouse, and let's say you are a 6'2" guy, and you're looking at Mighty Mouse, you might be thinking, even if you don't have fighting experience, you might be looking at him and thinking, man, if you and I were in a bar and something were to pop off, I'm 6'2" and you're 5'2", I could probably kick your ass. And so, just there, a lot of people have that thought. Because of that,
yeah.
they don't take these smaller guys seriously until you tussle with these guys, until they get their hands on you, and then all that shit you're thinking, it flies out the window. You start to gain a lot more respect for them. I can definitely tell you 100% that my respect for flyweights as a whole skyrocketed after I started training with them.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's guys at my
After,
gym that are like 110 to
hmm
120 to 130 pounds, and they're killers. There's this one fucking blue belt that always just rolls right for the ankle. He's gotten me in heel hooks multiple times, and white belts can't go for the heel hooks in the gym, so
yeah,
I can only defend them. So
yeah,
like at one point I was straight ducking him, and then he called me out for it. He was like, "Stop ducking me, big bro! Stop ducking me!" And he immediately rolled for the ankle.
yeah,
Little bastard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those guys, they'll shock you, man. They'll shock you, and it's like a lot of people kind of saw a little bit of that when they watched Mighty Mouse compete against that 265-pound brown belt.
Yeah, that was wild.
A lot of folks were like, "What the? Wait, whoa!" I'm like, "Yeah," and that's a brown belt.
Mm,
That's a brown belt. He wasn't doing this with someone who has no training. That's a brown belt. He
yeah.
took him down, passed his guard, pinned him. A lot of people, they don't think it's possible. They don't think, how could a guy that small pin me, like prevent me from moving? I'm like, bro, you have no idea. He would pin you so easily. He would literally make you his little bitch, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so I think if a lot more people had experience, like legitimate experience with people who are that small but are also very skilled, the respect for flyweights will absolutely go up. Because you're right. If Mighty Mouse was a welterweight doing exactly what he's doing, he would be a mega superstar. 100%. He's
Yeah.
small. He's small, unfortunately. Yeah.
And he's
It
bigger
doesn't.
in other countries, which
Yes.
kind of makes sense because other countries just like enjoy the sport for what it is.
And they
And
understand. They have more
yeah,
of an understanding. You go to Japan and they're watching Mighty Mouse compete. There's a lot of respect. You know, a lot of those people, they understand, they genuinely understand the sport. They're not a bunch of bang bros who just want to get drunk and watch people duke it out. They want to see martial artists do martial arts. And so,
yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. So I want to jump back into the content real quick. You mentioned quality when you
yes.
talked about the Wonder Boy as well, and it's the you can even see with the mics you're using, like the equipment is clearly high tech. And at first I was confused in the boxing video because the angles of the camera. I didn't know if you had a cameraman or if it was tripod. And then once I watched the Wonder Boy video, I was like, oh, he got a fucking cameraman. And like when I react to these videos on stream, I'll point those things out. I'll like pause it and I'll be like, those microphones right there, them are expensive. It's like a $300 set, and that that doesn't include the wires and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I like to try to point those things out and really acknowledge those things. Um, have you had a cameraman for a long time? I know you
No.
just started the IRL thing,
Yeah.
and so like, how did you go about finding a cameraman?
So the boxing video and the Krav Maga video, I did the whole entire thing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had two cameras and I just set them up in tripods. That's literally what I
Oh,
did for the
okay.
Krav Maga and for the boxing video. And
Mm-hmm.
that was tough. It was really tough because I had to constantly monitor the camera. I couldn't really completely focus on what I was doing. You know, I had to make sure I was an angle, make sure that it was recording and all this shit. But for Wonder Boy, bro, I knew if I'm gonna be there with Steven Thompson, I can't be like, hey, bro, can you hold on? Let me go check on the camera to make sure that no. I have to respect this man's time.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be present the whole entire time and just absorb everything he's saying. So I actually hired a videographer for that one.
Oh, okay.
I went to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I found a solid videographer with some really good reviews. I met up with him. I explained to him exactly what I was looking for. And his son actually trains at Upstate Karate. So as soon as I told him I was training with Stephen Thompson, he was like, "Oh shit, I got you. I know exactly who he is. I know what you need." Um, and so the day we got there, we were supposed to film around like 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But Steven's brother forgot to remind Steven that we had the training at 11 a.m. And so Steven was out with friends, you know, just having fun or whatever. We show up to the gym. His brother's like, man, I got bad news, man. You know, I forgot to tell him, you know, Steven is not available right now. Can we reschedule for 7 p.m.? And I look at my cameraman. He's like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Like that's fine." And so we take an hour and just do B-roll. So
Mm-hmm.
all the B-roll you saw, we just shot that in that moment. So
Oh,
like an
okay.
hour or so, shot the B-roll, and then around 7 p.m. we came back and then did the actual content. So the he had two cameras, one that he was handheld and
Mm-hmm.
just moving around with us, and another one that he had posted kind of like at a distance to just get a wider angle of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the microphone that he had us using was absolute. I actually have it ordered right now. It's so much it's so much better than the one that I use. I'm like, holy shit. Not only is it better, it's so convenient from martial arts because it's small, it just pins on you. The
Mm.
wire goes into like your pants pocket and it's like snug and the quality is so fucking good. There's no clip in, it's just great, fantastic. So we shot for about an hour. I looked at the footage and I was like, oh yeah, this is the standard now. 100%.
Mm.
Every single time I do anything with a fighter right now, he's my go-to. Whether I'm traveling to Australia or I don't care where I'm going. I'm going to grab that dude and he's going to go with me. Period. So we already have that understanding now. Um Now next week I have another boxing video that I'm doing. This is going to be sparring. That one I'm going to record myself again just
Mm-hmm.
cuz it's not with a fighter, so like the quality doesn't have to be that crazy.
Uh-huh.
Um but if I'm working with a fighter, bro, it's got to be that quality, 100%.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into the boxing. Real
Okay.
quick though, I want to jump back because I have one question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So you're doing all these different things now, and you're expanding on your content and all of these new things, and your thumbnails are fantastic, and your editing goes crazy, and everything's just gotten so much better. Now, do you ever go back to your older stuff and watch it and point things out like, oh, I was horrible at that. Like I've gotten way better, or is there any certain things that make you go, oh my god, what was I doing back then?
That is precisely why I don't do it because I cringe too much, dude. I cringe too much. Sometimes I'll see a person comment on a really old video. Like I'll get a comment and it's like a really old video, and then I go to the video and I'm like, Jesus Christ. One thing I notice is like just how fat I used to be. Is the biggest thing I noticed. Like I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, because after I got shoulder surgery, I kind of just like stopped doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
No working out, no lifting, no martial arts. I just kind of got fat. And at the time, I didn't realize I was that big. But looking back now, that's the thing that makes me cringe. It makes me want to delete those videos. Because I was like, dude, this is just terrible. I look fat as fuck. Um, but no, honestly, dude, I really don't watch my content too much unless it's a video that I'm really, really, really proud of. And the truth is, right now, the videos I'm really proud of are the IRL stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I watch those like repeatedly because like I just love what I created. Um, but besides that, no, not really. Not really. I just try not to focus on that because like it just makes me cringe.
Yeah, that's funny. Sometimes an old thing will pop up for me too, and I'll just
Yeah.
it's never a good time. So now I want to jump into the mixed martial arts,
Okay.
and the training and be because you've been training for a long time as well. Now, what was your first ever UFC event you watched?
Ooh. I don't remember what the event is called, but it was Vanderlei Silva versus Chuck Liddell.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
On
That was the
Pride
very
or was that
no,
UFC?
no. This was actually back home in Nigeria when they were still on Spike TV. Yeah,
Oh, it was okay.
yeah, they were. Yeah, this was on Spike TV. That was the very first one that I saw.
Oh
This was my
shit!
very first time seeing the UFC. Back home in Nigeria, I see, and it just looked like shit to me. Just being for real, being for real, it just looked terrible
Mm.
because you got to understand my background. My background is Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and before Muay Thai, I spent a lot of time watching, although fake and scripted, but beautiful martial arts sequences. Not WWE, yes. Yes. I watched a lot of that too. But I mean like Bruce Lee and Jet Li and Jackie Chan. These were beautifully scripted fight scenes that were designed to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
And freaking brawling. It's boom, arm traps, kicks, pop, pop. Like it's such beautiful. And and then I would watch a lot of Muay Thai, and Muay Thai is so gorgeous. You know, the stance, everything is cerebral. They're rarely fucking going ham and brawling with each other. And then I watched Vanderlei Silva, and you know Vanderlei Silva, bro.
Yeah, that shit used to be cockfighting back then. That's why.
You know Vanderlei Silva is a Hulk. I'm watching that like, what the fuck is this nonsense? This
Yeah,
is shit.
and
And
Chuck's
then, like,
not really technical either.
no. Chuck is no, he is not on the level of fighters today, but
Mm.
like, you know, compared to Vanderlei Silva, Chuck Liddell might as well be Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I mean, Vanderlei is straight shoot box. Just these guys used to knock each other senseless back in the day training. Like that plus the Brazilian culture of like everything is mentality, everything is toughness. Like if you hang out with a lot of Brazilians, it's literally all they talk about. You gotta want it. You gotta be tough. Boha. So Vanderlei is just fucking. They're just swinging at each other, and I'm like, this is shit. This is terrible. This is not beautiful. Right? But this is ignorant me saying that
Mm.
because like those were real fighters. You know what I mean? Those were real fighters. And I think that's a lot of the mistake a lot of people still make today. They think the traditional martial arts shit they watch that is again scripted and you know there's a lot of choreography to it. They think that's what real fighting is, but real fighting is not pretty. Some
Mm.
fighters can make it look pretty. Israel can make it look pretty. Wonder Boy can make it look pretty. But it's not pretty. It's gritty. It's the technique is not always clean, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first one I watched. But then after I moved here, thank God for GSP because George St. Pierre is who actually got me into MMA
Oh,
proper.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one to get you into it. Not
Yeah.
Wandelay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. GSP. And again, it depends on the type of person you are. There's some people that what they love is exactly what Vanderlei Silva was doing. Like I know people who it was Vanderlei that got them into MMA because of that.
I
It
do
was like,
love like Wandelay like pride fights, like when he was like soccer kicking people and
yeah,
shit, like
yeah,
like that. Like Wandelay was a different kind of dog. Like that.
yes, dude.
Like he went in there like kill or be killed.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna fight Vanderlei Silva, you need to understand like you're about to be in some shit. Like this is
Yeah,
not you're not
it's not
about to
gonna
go
be
in there and
fun.
dance. No,
Mm-mm.
no. So, but then GSP got me into it proper. GSP was technical. He was clean. He had a beautiful jab. He had the side kicks, the turning side kicks. The you know his he approached it like a martial artist, and that's what I like.
Mm.
If you look at all my favorite fighters, you'll notice that about them. They're very aesthetically pleasing with the way they fight. That's what I like. So I don't know if I just answered your question or if I just went on a tangent. I'm sorry. Hey, feel free to stop me, bro, because like I do that. I do that
No,
a lot.
no, you're good. You're giving me a lot. You're giving me a lot. So,
Okay.
so GSP got you into MMA, but you were already training before your interest in MMA came about.
Yes.
What were you training specifically?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. How long did you train Muay Thai before getting into anything else?
Like about 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah. So
now,
about the same time I've trained jujitsu.
oh, okay. Now, did you train? You trained Muay Thai back in Nigeria?
Yes.
Did you train at all in the U.S. or was it? Did you stop once you got here?
Once I got here, I stopped.
And you kind of got right into Jiu-Jitsu?
Jiu-Jitsu was my second martial arts. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so.
I had Muay Thai already coming
Mhm.
here. So that was like a background, that I had, and then I kind of just didn't know what martial arts to go with after I got here because I had already said to myself that like I like Muay Thai, I do, but it's just too hard on the body. It's too hard on the body,
Yeah.
and I wanted to grapple. I really wanted to grapple, but I didn't know which grappling art to go with. It was between judo, wrestling, and jujitsu at the time, and I wasn't sure which one to go with, and I was just wasting Oh my god, dude, it pisses me off that I wasted time, bro. Like, I wish I would have like just arrived here and just got into jujitsu. I would have been a black belt by now. Like, it pisses me off thinking about it. Like the amount of time I wasted just goofing around, like, oh, what should it be? I should have just done something, anything,
Yeah.
like, you see what I'm saying? Like, any grappling would have been better than just sitting around doing jack shit.
I know
So,
exactly what you're saying. Like, I'm mad that I took such a break in between wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I mean, now that I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 months now, my wrestling's starting to come back. Like, guy told me last night that I'm a good wrestler. And I was like, wow, I haven't heard that in forever. And my ankles are swollen from these motherfuckers taking shots on me. And the judo guys piss me off beyond belief because they think their tosses work. The only ones that work when my arm comes across and then I'm cooked. Then it's over. I'm on my back. But realistically, I'm just branching my hips out. And, stay.
Right.
You gotta shoot into here. You're not, nothing. But like now that you said 5 years deep into jiu-jitsu?
5, yeah.
And
I started in 2021, so about 4 years.
Oh, okay. So, and you said you've commented before. Zach got you into jiu-jitsu, right?
Z Hunter, yes, that's my OG professor right there.
Did
Nothing
you ever
but love for that guy?
You ever train with him?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. By train, you mean have I ever got my ass whooped by him?
Oh, I assume he's definitely like that. Like he's definitely just like hammering on people. It's not a good time,
bro. Bro. I'll say this. Roberto Godoy he's my professor right now. He's the like, because like with jujitsu, there's two types of jujitsu you're going to experience, and I'm sure we'll probably get into that. But like when you go with someone like Romero, right? What you're gonna get out of there thinking is, well, that was a fucking whirlwind, right? That he's an athletic freak, right?
Yeah. Like, athletic savage, I like to say.
Yeah. But like if I were to ask you, with Romero, would you describe it like you felt a lot of pressure? Like, did he feel like he was like 1,000 pounds on you?
Yeah. No, Romero. So anytime Romero was on top of me, I was looking for hand control and like trying to do the small things I remembered from wrestling because it was a long time. And the weight that I felt on top of me, and like he's around the same weight as me, like 145, 150. So like it shouldn't feel that heavy, but it felt like there was a car on top of me, especially after the first or second slam, because my breath was gone. I was cooked. It was over. You could hear it. And then when he was on top of me, or when he had me mounted, oh my God, it was wraps. Yeah. I was cooked.
Now take what you felt from Romero. Now imagine a guy who's 190 pounds. That's Zach.
Yeah.
190 pounds and a black belt. Okay. The first time I rolled with Zach, I was a white belt. This was in Vegas when we went to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that was my very first time rolling with him. And just without even trying, he almost broke my arm. And like I was telling him afterwards, and he was like, he felt like genuinely like afraid and apologetic because he didn't even realize it was that tight.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to make it tight either. He just slapped on a regular old arm bar, and I felt my arm about to pop. It's the strength of the leg, the cleanness of the technique, and the size of the man. All of that, a conglomeration of just insanity. I felt like, and he tapped me multiple times, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's even better now because I rolled with him. Granted, I was fucking exhausted, but I rolled with him again when we went to Vancouver.
Yep.
And Jesus, man, he is so good. The other two black belts right there, he cooked them. He just cooked them.
Yeah.
Mounted them, pinned them. He's a very good black belt.
Yeah, nah, he's a dog. I talked to him a while ago, but he was getting ready for to make an amateur MMA run because he wanted to win a title. And so he's definitely in phenomenal shape right now too.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's the one that actually got me into jujitsu. He's been telling me at the time he was a purple belt, which, oh my god, it annoys me so
Oh
much,
my
bro. Because
god.
like, yeah, he was a purple belt. A purple belt at the time. He was like, bro, you gotta do jujitsu. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. I'm like, okay, maybe. I just never did, and I wish I would have, because it would have been right now. I would have been a fucking brown belt. At the least, I'd have been a purple belt, and I would be able to maybe give him like some competition. You know what I mean? It just pisses me off that I did not listen to that man. You know what I mean? It's so if anyone's telling you right now, if you're listening and you're young or whatever, fucking start doing jujitsu right now. Get into some martial arts right now, because you're gonna be 30 years old looking back and regretting that you did not start earlier.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
I spoke to NCAA champion Josiah Fry a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned that like when he was young, he started judo, and became a world champ. All of this, then transitioned to wrestling, and then like midway through wrestling in high school, started jiu-jitsu. And now he's coming up on making his MMA debut once he graduates next year. And he's like, I mean, I'm still a white belt. And he talks about it all the time. He's like, I'm still a white belt, but like I'll step into blue belt competition and cook them. He said he could probably go purple belt and like cook some people just off of wrestling judo alone. Like,
yes,
he's murdering people. And
yes.
And like that's what's starting to like build in the MMA world. Like these grapplers are like taking over, and you see it in Bo Nickel. And granted, the strikers are still pretty to watch, and they're still gonna be the money makers. But these grapplers are learning to strike as well. And do you kind of incorporate that? And do you think you'll ever train full MMA at all?
Unlikely. And the reason I say that is because I train for a different reason right now. Right? I'm not like Romero, who's training to like literally go into MMA.
Yeah.
Like I tell him all the time. Like I get on him about this all the time. I'm not happy with the level he's at right now. I don't think he's where he needs to be. I tell him all the time. I need to get to a point where I'm his warm-up round. Like, because, and the reason for that is what you literally just said. Bro, the amount of skill out there right now at a very young age is fucking scary. You go to a jiu-jitsu competition, like look at ADCC, for example. Look at ADCC trials. The amount of kids, I'm talking 13, 14, 15, who are absolutely mauling world champion black belts at blue belt is crazy. And these are the kids you're going to see in MMA in the future. People think what Habib did, it's more is coming. More is coming. Like y'all think Habib is he's crazy, but like the level of grappling we're about to see in the next few years in MMA, everybody better buckle up, because these kids are starting at fucking 5 years old, 4 years old. By the time they're 10 years old, by the time they're like 14, they already have like 10, 11 years of grappling experience. These are black belt level kids walking around with a blue belt on.
Yeah.
Like, they'll fuck you up.
It's sandbagging. That shit is there's this fucking 13-year-old at my gym with a white belt, and he melts all of us. It's unfair. Put a brown belt on him. That is not a child. That is a man. He is whooping us.
Yeah, that was Romero walking around with a white belt. He literally just got his blue belt, which is
I know. When I found out he was a white belt like right after our match. It was actually hysterical. He was like, what was your plan? And I was like, I knew it was about to happen. I was just hoping I was prepared for it, like mentally and physically, and I was not prepared for it physically. But yeah, no, he just got his blue belt. He's a it's from the wrestling. It's from the college level of wrestling. College wrestlers are built different.
Yeah. The only reason he doesn't cook me like that is because like I know how to I know how to avoid what he does best because I train with a lot of wrestlers, right?
Mm.
Like the problem that you run into with like anyone that does a takedown heavy type of martial arts, so judo, Greco-Roman, wrestling, blah blah blah, all that stuff, is a lot of people don't understand when they're in danger. And really, you're in danger once the kazushi starts, once the off balancing starts, right? You're a
Mm.
wrestler, you know how it goes. Hand post on the head, collar tie, inside bicep tie, start moving them around.
Mm-hmm.
That's your home base, right? The moment you start moving them around, that's where you find your shots. A lot of people once the wrestler starts moving them around, they think they're safe. I'm like, nigga,
Mm.
you're not safe. This is where you're about to get tossed.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
judoka grabs a hold of your gi and starts yanking you, and you're moving, and I'm fine. No, you're about to get thrown. So when you realize that, you can tussle with him a little bit on the feet, but the moment he starts like off balancing you and shit, you gotta sit. You gotta sit, and that's where you gotta develop a guard. Your
Yeah.
problem in that fight was like you just had no guard whatsoever.
Yeah, I reacted to your video on stream and I paused at that and I was like, he's right. I tried to sit down too, like pull guard at one point, and he got right on top and I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I like
Yeah.
told him in that instant, like I literally said out loud, Aljo made this look like you weren't gonna be able to do that, and then
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
chuckled a little bit and just went on with violence, but
And
uh,
with wrestlers, man, you gotta enter their legs. You gotta enter their
yeah.
legs. That's the only reason Romero respects my guard is because if he like approaches, I'm gonna enter his legs.
Mm.
I'm gonna enter his legs in one way, shape, or form. If you don't do that, like you gotta shackle their feet. You know this is a wrestler. If you don't shackle a wrestler's feet, bro, and lock him down, he's gonna run circles around you. So
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know what we
why
were talking about before that. Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to more develop my wrestling into jiu-jitsu. Like I've been like, if people won't stand with, I will not stand with a judo guy. I refuse to stand with a judo guy because
Smart.
they're just gonna try their wizard tricks,
Yeah.
and I'd rather just do that down here.
Yeah.
But like the non-wrestlers or the wrestlers, I'd like to try to get them to stand. If they don't, I kind of just go into a wizard. And like the wizard is like a beautiful move in wrestling, and it works perfect in jiu-jitsu too,
Mhm.
to immediately take people's backs off rip.
Yeah. 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 And you got to be comfortable in bad spots, honestly. Like if you're worried, like a big reason why people don't open up their game is because they don't have good defense essentially, right?
Mm.
Like because if you know that if you try to attack this guy and he passes your guard and you can't recover guard, it's going to prevent you from actually opening up. You'll be scared to open up, right? And that's why right now I still say I mean, not that I still say, it's a fact. I suck at jujitsu. If you're a blue,
We
unless you're a
all do.
blue, yeah, unless you're a blue belt, a sandbagging blue belt, like we were talking about, unless you're one of those blue belts, man, every regular blue belt sucks at jujitsu in the grand
Mm.
scheme of things. Um, I think that there are few actual non-sandbagging blue belts that can actually beat me. So like on that level, like I'm good, but like jujitsu is not blue belt level. Jujitsu is black belt level. Like, are you good at jujitsu? It starts at black belt, and then at black belt, there are people who are like really, really, really good black belts. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So at this level that you and I are at right now, like the game is defense, 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 right? Develop your defense, make sure that your guard is fucking solid. No one's passing your guard. If someone does pass your guard, that you have very good pin escapes. If someone passes to side control, you're not just gonna lay in side control for like 5 minutes getting cooked. If someone
Mm.
mounts you, you can get out of mount. If someone takes your back, you can get out of back mount. And then start working submission defense. If someone enters your legs, you can escape that. If someone tries to armbar you, you can deal with that. And that is early stage defense and late stage defense. So you can defend an armbar when you have this fucking grip, and
Mm-hmm.
you can defend an armbar when the arm is already extended, right? So
Yeah. Get your shoulder to the
these
mat.
exactly. This is what we all got to learn right now. So that by the time we get to brown belt, right? And
Mm.
your game transitions from like defense based to offense, your defense is already so fucking solid that you can have a lot of confidence in your offense and you can really go for shit because man, if I get my guard passed, I'll just get it back. If I get
Yeah.
I'll just escape. Exactly. So that's the
Like
game.
like my big thing right now is I still give up my back frequently, but like that's a wrestler problem. And I give it up all the time. But I'm really good at defending shit. Like unless they're like inside of my gi already, then it's wraps. But most of the time, sometimes I be getting out of that now. I'm very sneaky with it. But like is there anything you're very comfortable with as a blue belt, like at the level like closer and closer to getting your purple belt? Because they do say to be a purple belt, you have to have at least one thing mastered. You know, I've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a few things I would say. Okay. I think it will be cocky to say mastered because, again, there's always refinements that you can make.
Absolutely.
To literally everything. But there are things I am really, really good at. I'd say, like, there are a few things that, like, if I was to do it to a black belt and I just did that, they would probably think I was a black belt. I'll just put it that way. One is my heel hooks. I'm pretty good at heel hooks. Two is half guard passing. Like, I feel like if I can get somebody flattened out in half guard chest to chest, like I'm passing your guard. Like it's just getting passed. And all of that comes from just me being obsessed with Gordon Ryan, being obsessed with John Danaher, watching all of their instructionals and just obsessing over it like a maniac. I have two dummies back here. I have one no gi dummy and one gi dummy. A dummy that I practice with those things like every single day.
Yeah, no, I need to get me a dummy. I have like friends coming over. I mean, they're dummies, but like they just like, but they're like non-jitsu guys. They're all wrestlers, so like they don't go in their own guard, and they don't like to go in my guard either, because like I can do things on them that they don't know what's coming, even though I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. So like now that you're a heel hook guy, that's what I wanted to say. You're one of those heel hook demons. So my gym, my professor, and the gym's only been open for about a year. You know, just celebrated the year anniversary. And so he just made a rule like a month ago. White belts can no longer go for any leg stuff. No heel hooks, no nothing. And then he like paused for a little bit and was like, but it can still happen to you. That's fine. As long as it's the blue belt or higher. And so like I for like 2 months got to work on my knee bar. And that shit was getting clean. People weren't expecting it. It was, but now I can't touch it anymore. I can't but I still like sometimes want, like, do you ever see that picture with like the guy holding the frame and he's just like crying and just like touching the photo? Right. And that's me with like leg videos. Yeah. Like, or I'll watch somebody do it at the gym. I'll just be like, no, I can't wait. Do you have it? I love leg stuff. It's so beautiful too. Like from the start. Like from the start of like the person on their back just grasping around the leg, just rolling into it. Like it's such a beautiful, smooth transition. Yeah. For certain people.
Because I like it because, okay, it's gonna sound terrible, but I like it because of how deadly it is. And because of that, like people are just forced to respect it. And honestly speaking, bro, like from watching jujitsu and just watching grappling and all that, like a huge part of a grappler's success is just people's fear, just like how people perceive you. For example, in the same thing happens in MMA, bro. Like if you were to go back and look at Anderson Silva got to a point where his reputation actually surpassed his skill level. And I can say that because we've seen what happened when someone just didn't respect that skill level. Like people got so afraid of Anderson Silva, so afraid of his striking, they were like completely defeated before they even stepped in the octagon. They stepped in there thinking, holy shit, he's gonna knock me the fuck out. Like I'm fucked. I'm cooked. I can't stand with him even a little bit. And so they shoot terrible shots. They panic wrestle. Same thing happens with someone like Habib. Everyone is so like afraid of the takedown. No one opens up. They forget they can attack this guy, right? And you see the same thing in jiu-jitsu. If you have a dangerous if you have dangerous leg locks, nobody wants to fuck with your guard. The moment you sit, everyone's afraid, like, oh, ooh, let's be careful. You might not even be as good as they think you are, but the fear alone allows you to open up. So that's why I really wanted to develop my leg lock game, because once you tap someone out a few times with leg locks, all of a sudden the world opens up. Because now when you sit, you see it in their eyes like fuck. Like shit.
Yeah, y'all
And
are devils.
now I can do whatever I want. I can attack you, I can go at you, and all you can do is just be scared and you're afraid.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm
fucked
saying?
up. It's fucked up.
Yeah, you're just so it's why I always say, man, like you gotta get because like, dude, my professor right now in Nogi, he's a black belt under Tom DeBlas, who's under John Danaher. So this is the leg lock lineage right here. He taps me all the time with heel hooks, knee bars, ankle locks, Achilles lock, all of them. And I love it. Because what I do is he sits, I jump right in the guard. I just jump in. I'm
Yeah.
like, bring it. Do it. Let's go. I'm not afraid of it. And sometimes I'll escape, sometimes he'll get it. But that's gonna allow me, by the time I get to black belt, there's not gonna be a single person that I'm gonna be afraid to get in their guard. Because like, bro, I've been tapped so many fucking times. I've seen it in all ways, and I've developed all the defense necessary to deal with that. So yes, I'm a leg
Yeah.
lock guy. I love it.
So now I wanna jump into your art now. Because you've been creating art for a long time. You actually said earlier that you've created art before content. So now what got you into art? I know you're a digital artist now, but did you ever paint, or like was there a phase of like anything like away from portraits? Bring me through the entire, like, what got you into art and what got you to making MMA art.
Yeah, my dad.
Okay.
Honestly, my dad with pretty much all of it. My dad did karate when he was younger. So growing up, I saw his karate books, and that made me want to do martial arts. But
Mhm.
besides that, he was a visual artist, really, really good visual artist. He could draw very, very well, and I remember just seeing his old art books. Like this is back then when to actually get color pigments, he had to make them himself. He had to get leaves to try to, get the color green and use sand, like fine sand with like some solution to try to get the color brown, for example. They had to do all that themselves because paint was like so expensive back then.
Yeah.
So just watching and seeing his art is what got me into it. And then when my dad saw that I had interest in it, he actually got me a private class with an artist that lived down the road. And so I would go to his house and I would just watch him paint. He was a professional artist, so people would pay him to do portraits of them, and he would do abstract paintings, and I would just watch.
Hmm.
I'll sit there for hours just watching him work. I'll ask questions, and he just pretty much taught me to craft. And then I started like working on it myself, developing my own style. Um, and then after I moved here is when I actually got into like painting legit. Because again, back home, oil paint is just extremely expensive, just too
Hmm.
expensive. It's yeah. But after I got here, I started working, I was able to afford it. And then thanks to YouTube and just trying shit myself, I was able to get pretty damn good at painting. Um and then from there, I gotta, after painting and YouTube and just the time it takes to actually produce a single piece of art when you're painting, it takes a very long time. I
Mm.
switched to using Procreate. It's what I use right now, just
Hmm.
because it's faster. It's just faster. Um, but yeah, dude, that's the journey. Starting from dad, watching him do his thing, taking a private class, learning
Hmm.
what I could, and then honing my skills myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I had more time to do it because it's my first love, dude. I absolutely, and I have so many ideas of what to paint. I just don't have the time. I'm doing so
Yeah.
much. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Should do a painting stream.
Look, bro, look, honestly, dude, like I've been thinking about streaming a lot more, but not UFC.
mm, nah, you
Yeah,
can't.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And not just UFC, but like any game at all. It would
Mm,
have to be a game, like for me to stream a video game, it'd have to be a game that like I consider a masterpiece. Like if y'all had me if y'all had me stream Last of Us Part 2, I'll fucking do it in a heartbeat.
mm,
I'll stream GTA, for example. I'll stream a game like Uncharted. I'll stream
mm-hmm.
God of War. These are games I consider masterpieces.
Fallout.
Huh?
Fallout.
Fallout.
Any? You've never played
I've
Fallout?
no.
Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4.
Okay, you're about to put me on. No. I've heard of it. I just never touched it. I've never
Oh
played
my
it.
god, that I'm doing Fallout 4 playthrough right now. That's like one
Okay.
of like like some people it's not their cup of tea, but you said you're a God of War fan.
Yes.
So if you're into any games like that, you'd be into Fallout. Not
shooter?
similar. It is a shooter.
Okay.
But it's Explorer. You don't have to like I was using a samurai sword for most of my recent playthrough. You
Okay.
you really can play however you want. Just difficulty get rises in certain scenarios with said samurai sword. However, it's like post-apocalyptical. Like there was a nuke that went off. Everybody went into a vault. Some games are like 200 years after that. A show just came out on Amazon Prime, all about the Fallout story and now you should get into it. It's definitely
Oh my god. Romero's about to be pissed off because he's been trying to get me to play Elden Ring, and it just sounds shit. I tell him all the time, like, bro, I know everyone says it's a masterpiece, but like, I don't like those games. But Fallout, what you're describing right now sounds good. I
fucking
like that.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring is one of those games that like you're gonna spend 8 hours on the first boss until you realize, fuck, I have to do other things before I have to come back to this guy, and then you're gonna be like, I spent personally 2.5 until people were like, dude, you can't beat him right now. Like you can't.
On the first boss.
Yeah, the first guy you come out of like a cave or something, you see this horse. And you're supposed to skip it. Most people don't know to skip it. And they spend a lot of time because the game's not in order.
Okay, I see. Okay.
But it doesn't tell you like there's no like levels on it or like it's a Souls game. It's Dark Souls, and those games are horrible. And every time you die, you drop all of your gems or souls. And then if you die again trying to get those, you never see them again. They're gone. It's
Holy shit. Yeah, no. I'm not that hardcore.
that game is
I'm
pain.
not that hardcore. Yeah. No. I don't like doing anything that causes me pain. Not right now. And especially not with gaming. If I'm gonna play a video game right now, bro, like I gotta like enjoy it. And that's why I don't play a lot of UFC. I enjoy UFC when I treat it correctly. That's the thing. A lot of people don't treat that game correctly. Yeah, the people sit there fucking grinding and then losing their goddamn minds. I'm like, bro, you can't play that game like that. It's not a masterpiece. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Nah,
So,
I stopped. I'm happy you said this. I stopped playing that game for a reason. Actually, it's the very famous quote by me. I only play that game when I need a workout because I now set it up so every time I lose, I have to do 10 push-ups. And usually, and I'll go on ranked, and these motherfuckers are demon, and I'm like not even good. That like in UFC 4, I was like beating like ESFL pros and like doing my thing, and then in UFC 5, I'm like stuck in D5, and I can't get past the spamming, and so I end up doing like 120 push-ups by the end of stream, and it's a great workout. Where I'm seeing results.
yeah.
I'm
A lot of critiques people had for UFC 5 were so fucking valid. and I was critiquing it as well, but like at the time, no one really stopped to like look at that. It's just like, anyways, it's just one of those things that like you just have to look at. You have to play pretty much not just that game, but like any other game. I say this all the time. Like gaming has to be used for what it's designed for. Like I don't think games were made to stress yourself out. Like if I pick up a game and I'm not enjoying it, I just stop playing. This is what's been I've been battling with what is it called? Red Dead Redemption. And people are gonna fucking hate my guts for saying it, bro.
I saw you tweet it recently. The first
Bro.
2 hours is brutal.
Okay, but I got through it. I did get through it. As
Hmm.
brutal as it was, I got through it. And I'm waiting for it to get fun. I'm still waiting. Like I'm still playing it. I'm still waiting for
Where
fun.
are you?
So we just got to camp, okay? The whole setting up camp shit is so boring. Okay, I'm like, that's fine. It's supposed to be that way. Let me just give it a shot. And now we are going into town to go find someone. I forget who we're going to go find. And I'm riding this horse with a bunch of ladies in the back. And bro, I'm like, I gotta stop. I got to
Have you
hit
gotten to town yet?
Yeah, we got to town and
You got
it's
to the
like,
saloon?
yeah, it's like GTA. I think maybe it's the setting. Because westerns, me and westerns, we've never been I've never been able to do westerns. With movies, with video games, I think that might be what it is. But
Yeah.
hey, I promised people I was gonna give this game a legitimate shot. So I play for like 30 minutes, I get bored, I stop, just so I don't hate it, and then I come back and I'll just keep doing it like that until the fun happens, whenever the fun happens.
It's very slow.
Oh
But
yeah.
I enjoyed Red Dead 2 like probably another 2 hours after where you are. I thought the saloon part
Ah,
was pretty cool, but like it doesn't really get lit until you're out of that first camp.
okay.
Like a lot of
Okay.
people say you have to get through the slowness because they enjoy the camp stuff, they enjoy the saloon fighting, but like I realistically don't like it until after that because
Okay.
shit pops off.
I see.
Once shit
Okay.
starts popping off, it's all about story and like, oh my god, I love them, blah blah blah, and then
Okay.
I'm a big
Yeah.
storyteller guy,
Same. Same.
and
And I
that's why
think
you
that's
like
what I'm
Last of Us so much.
Yes, because Last of Us 2 pops off immediate, like right away, like the story just grabs you immediately. Same with God
Mm.
of War. So I think that's just what my issue is. And since you're saying it gets better, I'll take your word for it.
It
I'll take your
it
word for it.
it does get better. I think the ending's fantastic. The
Okay.
whole entire game's not a masterpiece though.
You don't think so?
People forget about that first 5 hours.
Yeah, dude.
But then once you get to like the last like 4 or 5, or can't even remember how long the game is, but once you get to that last half, it's really not the worst thing in the
Gotcha.
world. And it is like the Western setting is very tough to get into.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not
It,
the biggest fan.
Nah,
I'm not the
I'm
biggest
used to
fan.
like GTA cities and fast cars and like, and I come from the RP world, so like I have lived on GTA,
Right.
and trying to ride a horse to city is ridiculous because it takes an extra 30 minutes. The
Same.
horse the horse will
Same.
die if you go off a cliff. Like, gotta get a new
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah, it's weird because like with me, the only time I really want sim is when I'm playing a combat hand-to-hand combat game.
Yeah.
If I'm not playing a hand-to-hand combat game, I don't want sim. I don't want the car to drive like sim. I don't want the game to be super slow like sim. I don't want like I want fast-paced. I want unrealistic. Hell, dude, like it's why I like when I play FIFA right now and the sim setting is on or whatever way the players are moving super slow. I'm like, oh god, this is boring as shit.
Did you say FIFA?
FIFA, yeah.
Oh boy,
Where like,
I was told to download FIFA recently. I know nothing about that football, whatever it is.
yeah, it gets slow, and it's just like I say, I can admit that to myself. Like I'm a sim head when it comes to boxing games, when it comes to MMA games, when it comes to kickboxing games. Besides that, nah. I want fast paced. Give me fast paced. Let's
Yeah, I'm
go.
like that in Madden. I've asked EA to like Madden releases, like y'all think I'm bad like calling out game changers for UFC 5? Every single Madden release, they're just way bigger. So they don't see me doing nothing. But the Madden games are like I will get on the field and cook a Madden game changer with my wide receiver moves. They don't even know. They don't even know.
What's wrong with Madden? Is this the same thing that's wrong with
so many things, but they release yearly. So it's not like oh, when we say we got the same game for UFC 5, it's not really the same game. Madden's legit the same game every single year, and they fix everything but the problems.
Damn. And people are still buying, huh?
Yeah, still buy it. I mean, I definitely do I wait until it's on sale now. I'm smart, you know. Unless it's a sports game that, like, I need. Like, sports games don't really grab me anymore. I've been playing a lot of, like, arcadey fighting games, like Street Fighter and Tekken.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I tried the Tekkens, I tried the Street Fighters. Can't do it.
It's hard, but like you get into it. It's tough, though.
I want them to be sim. That's the problem. I want them.
A sim Street Fighter is great.
I swear to God, I know it makes no fucking sense, but like I'm playing Street Fighter, I'm like, dude, I don't like these damn fireballs. I don't like these how fast the kicks are. Can we slow it down? Can we get a jab going? Can we get a nice jab cross leg kick going? And I know it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. That's my problem.
Nah.
If it's a fighting game, I want it to be sim.
Yeah.
Everything else, I don't care about sim whatsoever. Yeah, it's a weird thing with me.
All right, so the last thing I'll ask, and then we'll wrap it up. Undisputed. Right. Okay. How do you officially feel about Undisputed boxing game? Because I see that you've been making tons of content on that game. It seems like you've been having a lot more fun on that than UFC 5. Do you believe it's finally no? You don't believe it's finally in the stages of like where Undisputed should be released to like the full public?
Well, based on the little update they gave us like a couple days ago, I think it's in a good spot. I mean, I haven't played it, but just based on what we saw, I think it's in a good spot now. But if you're asking based on where the game is today, like if I were to load up Undisputed, do I enjoy playing it? The answer is no. I don't. The thing with Undisputed is I made a promise, and the promise that I made was that because a lot of people genuinely thought that I was trying to bring the game down and ruin its reputation or whatever. And so on my channel multiple times I said, I'm just going to stop critiquing the game. I'll just stop critiquing it. And I'm just going to give it a chance. I'm just going to give it a shot. So when career mode came out, I was like, I'm just going to play this career mode righteously. I'm going to just try to enjoy it. And as I was playing it, there were things about the career mode that I enjoyed, but there was also a lot of things about the career mode that I didn't enjoy. And I spoke about all of that at length during the playthrough. So my opinion on Undisputed is it's not, how do I put it? I have to pick my words carefully. It can be a fun game if you go into it with the right mindset. If you go into it thinking that you're about to play like a boxing sim, wrong. It's not a boxing sim. It doesn't have a lot of things that a boxing simulation needs. One, a vulnerability system. It doesn't have it. There's no stopping power on shots. The strike tracking is pretty abysmal. Not as, almost. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, the strike tracking. And then the fact that shots don't do as much damage as they should. And the fact that you can't fight in the clinch. You can't use fakes to actually enter the pocket properly. There's a lot of issues wrong with the game. The strike animations are just terrible. A vast majority of them just look bad. But that is if you're judging the game as a boxing sim.
Mm-hmm.
If you were just to judge it as like, let's just judge it just based on what it is, a video game by a small company trying to do something new. I can't hate on it.
Yeah, nah,
You know what I'm saying?
for
I
sure.
can't hate
And
on it.
they just got that big Saudi deal too. So
There we go.
I see big things coming through.
And they just released that update. They just showed us what they're working with. It looks like they've improved a lot of the punch animations. They've added some stopping power where it's needed. They've improved strike tracking. They've improved head movement. It looks like they've also added some new camera modes as well. So it's looking like it's going to be a much better game when we get our hands on it. So
Mm.
we'll see. We'll see. I'm rooting for them, bro. I mean, I would love to have another game in this community that I can play and actually enjoy.
Yeah.
I would love that. So, and throughout all my critiques of the game itself, the one thing you'll never see me do is critique the developers. You'll never see me do that ever. Never done it. Never will do it because I have genuine respect for them. I respect what they're doing. It's not fucking easy, bro. Like
Nah.
I've been around devs and I see how hard it is to make video games. And the fact that it's a small team trying to do this, it's absolutely impressive.
No, absolutely. I have a lot of love for devs too. That devs put a lot of work into everything they do, and some work for free. Some like the UFC Undisputed team and the Undisputed Forever team, and a lot of the RP teams, like they all work completely for free, and they're producing masterpieces.
Yeah.
But shit, we've been going for a long time, Marshall.
How long?
Hour and 30 minutes.
Okay. Not bad.
You actually beat out the King Diaz episode, and he got mad at me for trying to end it at like an hour.
It's fun. It's fun talking to you.
Nah, it is. That's what, you know. It's a fun place to come. The Swagcast is great. I appreciate you coming by. Anything you want to shout out? Any future videos coming shortly? Any socials you want to tell the people to go follow, subscribe?
Nah, nothing like that. I just want to know when you're coming to North Carolina.
I'll be there soon.
Yeah?
We'll definitely plan that. We'll get that in soon, and for sure. We'll get a fun match in. I've been talking about that with the community too. We're all very excited for that. Some of my community wants me to box you, because when we reacted to your boxing video, they were like, "Swaggy, I think you can take him," and I'm like, "I don't think so, chat. I don't think so. Them Saquon Barkley ass legs. I don't think so, brother."
Plus, boxing is like striking, sparring is kind of, it's one of those things that can like get out of hand. I don't like doing it. The only time I like doing it is like with someone that like I've been doing it with for a long time. Because you kind of go like with grappling, we can both go as hard as we want and not really hurt each other. Boxing is like, it's just tough. It's tough to do boxing sparring or kickboxing sparring or anything like that. It's really, really tough.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
for
definitely,
sure.
I definitely don't want to do boxing sparring.
No, absolutely not. We'll definitely be we will definitely be grappling. But but for sure, that'll be down in the future. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Brand new episodes every Wednesday. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.